Hi everyone, this is Rakshita BK, studying at Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the brain as a computer interface. Contents. Today I am going to discuss about the types of BCI transfer, electroencephalogram based on BCI, flow diagram of motor imaginary brain computer interface, conclusion. Now I am going to discuss about the introduction. Brain computer interface, that is BCI, based on electroencephalogram EEG, is a promising technology allowing computers to estimate how human intentions. Intentions recognition tools such as motor imaginary MI with high reliability is one of the major challenges in the BCI field. Brain-computer interface, that is BCI, is a control mechanism that evaluates human brain activity pattern, often via electroencephalogram (EEG), to promote communication between the brain and computers. Motor imaginary (MI) is a BCI paradigm that relies on a brain activity patterns recorded during imaging movements. These features can be particularly beneficial to BCI where the size of the data available is often too small to grant proper training of a machine learning module. Now let me see the types of BCI transform. BCI can be classified into three approaches based on different transform strategies: future presentation transfer, instance transfer, classifier transfer. This study proposes classifier transfer based sequential transfers learning, where tasks are learned in sequence with classifier transfer technique used to improve motor imaginary task performance. Now let me see the electroencephalogram based BCI. Electroencephalogram is a recording of electrical activity along the scalp produced by the firing on neuron. Among the possible choices that scalp recorded electroencephalogram EEG appears to be an advocate alternative because of its good time resolution and relative simplicity. Further, there is a clear evidence that observable changes in EEG results from performing given mental activities. The BCI brain control interface system is subdivided into three subsystems, namely EEG acquisition, EEG signal processing, and output generation. Within the EEG acquisition subsystem is composed of an electrode array arranged according to 10 to 20 international systems of 9 diagnosing device brain. Now, the common structure of brain-computer interface is the following. Signal acquisition. The EEG signals are obtained from the brain through invasive or non-invasive methods. For example, electrodes. After the signal is amplified and sampled. Signal processing. Once the signals are acquired, it is necessary to clean them. Computer interface interaction. Once signals are classified, they will be used by an appropriate algorithm for development of a certain applications. BCI common structure. In the case of a sensory input BCI, the function happens in reverse. A computer converts a signal such as one from a video camera into the voltage necessary to trigger neurons. The signal are sent to an implant in the proper area of a brain, and if everything works correctly, the neurons fires and the subject receives a visual image corresponds. Now let's see the methods of motor imaginary brain-computer interface. This study utilized an open access MI-BCI EEG datasets. The dataset 2A of BCI composition. The dataset includes EEG recordings from 9 subjects. The Q-based BCI paradigm consists of 4 motor imaginary tasks: the left and right and both feet and tongue. The EEG data were recorded using 22 channels sampled to 250 Hz and bandpass filtered between 0.5 and 100 Hz. At the beginning of the trial, a fixation cross appeared on the screen after 2 seconds. An arrow corresponds to one of the 4 classes. Stayed on screen for 1.25 seconds. After that, motor imaginary was performed for 3 seconds, followed by 1 of 2 seconds break. In addition to the motor imaginary task, a 5-minute long recording was used in beginning of each sense of estimate motor imaginary segment after Q. These are the classification performance of MI-SAC, that is motor imaginary SAC. You can see these are the table for the classification performance of the MI-SAC. Now, various methods using deep learning CNN for multi-classes classifications. EEG need deep ConNet, shallow ConNet, are conventionally used to target the motor imaginary session. Therefore, our proposed method is developed to train segment at the same interval in the experimental diagram of the BCI computation datasets. A new dataset label was constructed to classify MI-SAC. An interval of 2.5 to 4.5 seconds was set as a motor imaginary execution session. SGW here as a fixation cross interval and a break interval were placed as the no motor imaginary section labeled 0. According to the number of output class classification, the weight that was trained of MI-SAC becomes the initial weight of multi-classes classification model and fine-tuned during transfer learning layers in EEG net model is 2. Now let me see the flow diagram of motor imaginary brain computer interface. Represents the results of time series probability of MI-SAC classification for each subject. All subjects have high probability values in MI-SAC interval, implying that they as brain attempt to proceed with MI before starting the MI task. The results suggest the BCI experimental diagram and analysis on a cues should be the classification results of MI-SACs are described in table. The accuracy average of the subjects is 91.34% and standard deviations. The F-square average is 83.59% and the standard deviation is 10.49. Shows a comparison between the baseline models of 4-class classification using the normal trained EEG net module and transport learning module fine-tuned with MI-SAC model, excluding subject 4. The classification accuracy of the transport learning model was improved by 1 point percent subject 6 and 8.36% subject 9 compared to EEG net model. In addition, average classification performance for the subject was enhanced from 61.62 baseline model 63.82% for the transport learning model. Now let me see the conclusion. The study improved motor imaginary based computer interface performs through transport learning. A new BCI control diagram based on sequential transferring learning is proposed to enhance classification performance. Thank you.